This is very similar to Binding of the Isaac, but it's a lot more my taste in game. It's a lot slower paced. I love Binding of the Isaac, it's great, but I suck at it because it's really fast paced. So we'll jump right into this one. If you're trying to get any of the games that I've been playing, your best bet would be, of course, on Steam. Also, Humble Bundle has some pretty good deals on several games. It's just hard to find exactly the one you want. So, there's multiple ships that you can use. Each have different, stats for all your heroes and, different difficulties, but we're just gonna go on the base ship that you start with, just so we can get a feel for the game. These four right here are the characters or the heroes that the game comes with. So we have Max. He's intelligent. He's used for more utility type deal. And then this is Sarah. She's, super fast. But she doesn't really have much other than being super fast. This is my personal favorite, Gork. He's kind of a tank, used mostly to soak up all the enemies, and he actually does some pretty good damage too, which is nice. And then finally you have the Nurse, which is also a utility character like Max, mostly used for healing people in your party and other things. And then these question marks and locks are all characters that you can find inside the Dungeon of the Endless World. I actually beat the game when I recovered this guy, so I actually got him. And then these four characters down here are from the game TF2, and they're really fun characters. I enjoy these the most, for sure. But I think I'm gonna try out Ken, because I didn't really get much of a look at him when I got him. And I think we're gonna go with our heavy too, because the heavy's awesome. Alright, we're ready. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite games that I've gotten from an indie developer. It's really a beautiful game, and I mean, just look at this artwork. It's amazing. So you get to control these two characters, and you're trying to get this crystal to the end, or you're trying to get out of this dungeon, and by doing that you carry this power source with you through each level, trying to get to the elevator. And this right here is your dust, and it powers rooms, every room that you get into, and every 10 dust can power a room. So we have 27 dust, so we can only power about 2 rooms right now. 3 more dust and we can power 3. And so right here we have our health, which is used to heal our characters and level them up. And then right here we have science, which can be used to research different techs as we explore the dungeon and get through it. And then this right here is our industry, which is used to build structures to help us produce more resources as well as defend ourselves. And there's multiple towers that we'll see throughout the game. So I'm going to start off by putting an industry generator. This will generate more resources, or more building resources for us. It'll definitely help, and it's definitely one of the first structures you want to put down. when you're getting into the dungeon. Okay, so you go through the dungeon by opening doors one at a time, and you have two modes kind of where you can see the area you're dealing with. You can either be in looking over your characters, or you can be in this kind of map overview mode. Switch off your rooms and, you know, just see what's going on. So each time you open a door is when you get your specified resources. It gives you the amount that you'll get each time you open a door. So we're going to go ahead and power up this room too. And normally I only put one replicator or generator down, because this first level is normally pretty small, so you don't want to waste those resources building it, and you won't get very much in return. So that's just my personal preference. You can do what you want, but yeah, another door, more monsters. It is your birthday, Ken. We know you love the monsters. Alright, so this is actually pretty nice. We have a closed off section right here. And something to mention, when you open these doors, you see those monsters that come out, right? Well, if we have an unpowered room in our grid right now, the monsters will actually come from that room, or have a chance of coming from that room. They won't necessarily come from that room every time. So let's see here if we get some more monsters from there. Nope. Just some here. But we'll make it happen. So let's see. Nope. They still want to come from up here. We'll get some eventually. Okay. There we go. It's getting some pretty good dust on this map. Dust is definitely one of the most valuable resources. It makes a run a whole lot easier. And this resource, the dust actually resets on each floor. So don't worry about conserving it or whatever. But these resources are a different story. These actually carry over with you, so you have to plan accordingly. And you know, what may get you through one floor may not be enough for the next one. So you definitely have to plan ahead. And not plan ahead too much, because there's definitely been instances where I'm like, oh, I'm good, I can make it. No, I lose and lose everything. So don't be frugal. Don't be frugal. Alright. So we should power this room and this one. And that way our monsters will all be coming from this one area. Just plan it off so that, you know, you typically only have monsters coming from one zone. It makes it a whole lot easier to manage, because in these higher floors it can get crazy and people die, and it's very sad. So let's start off building a couple prisoner prods. They're the lowest level of, you know, towers. Definitely helpful. And as you can see, a lot of these rooms actually have chests in them, which contain items that we can put on our characters. We have just a regular t-shirt, which somehow gives you defense and HP, but I'm not arguing. It'll help us. So we'll give that to Ken. And then Mr. Heavy, or Misha Cherny, will get the prison uniform. Unfortunately, it doesn't change any outside appearance of the character, but it does give improved stats, so those are nice. and each character starts off, or sometimes starts off with active skills. Like Ken, he can divide attack power between all the characters in one room. And every character starts off with passive skills. This is definitely a good one to have. Pack of Dogs. They work well with other heroes who have the same ability. And this gives health regen and speed. And then Ken he has got your back, increased defense when he's with friends. So it's always good to have characters that work well together. Pack of Dogs is definitely a good one. And look here, research module. So we have a lot of different types of turrets, or towers, or actually even industry, or science, or food production. But nothing here is really that interesting right now. So I think we're gonna save it for the next floor. Alright, there's our exit. So sometimes you can go to the exit without clearing all these doors, but on such a low level it's a good idea because you get more resources, and you know, you could still find stuff like this merchant. So he has some good stuff, but can't really use it. Yeah, use chitin or chitin isn't any better than any of the items we have, so we'll just let him keep that. And if you do decide to go ahead and take this crystal to the exit, the dungeon's automatically gonna open all the doors. So if you're trying to get resources, it's a good idea. But in some of these later levels, as you see, it's pretty risky trying to open all the doors, so you may want to make a break for it if you see a good opportunity. So like I said, I definitely really like this game because it's more slower paced, at least when you're trying to make decisions of where you want to go, what doors you want to open. It can be kind of fast paced in the situations after you open a door, but you can pause it with the space bar, so it gives you time to think and time to decide what you want to do. But this first couple levels are fairly straightforward. Definitely want to watch out for your character's health, because if they do die, there's no coming back. They're gone. And if both of these characters die, it's game over. But you can find additional heroes in the dungeon. There's 13 total floors, at least on this ship. At the beginning, as you saw, there's multiple ships, so I'm not quite sure how many of those have. That's probably time to upgrade one of these guys. Gives us some nice stats. Yeah, Ken is definitely a lot squishier than our heavy, so we'll keep him moving back. Yeah, see, I was too frugal with my food, so I lost my heavy. Do not follow my example. That was bad. I shouldn't have let Mr. Heavy die. So now it's just gonna make everything a lot more difficult in these next couple levels until we can find another companion. So a thing to keep in mind when you grab this crystal is it slows down your character a lot. So it's typically best to get your fastest character to carry the crystal while your slow ones protect them. In this case, we do not have an additional character anymore, so just gonna have to make the trip alone. And whenever you do grab the crystal, enemies are going to continuously spawn, so you want to make it out of here as fast as possible. Yes. Alright, and we're out. That is floor number 1. Yes, let's say a prayer for the poor heavy that I mistreated. That was bad. We should not have let him die. But we will continue on. In his memory.